Yeah, somebody inspired me and gave me the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And, at the end of the day, it was really about time freedom. I know Robert was about real estate, but deep down, I think we're all looking for better lives and time to spend with loved ones. And that's really kind of how I got started. Coming from a large military family, I wanted to first say that I'm deeply proud of my family heritage and the country that we served, and thoroughly enjoyed the time in the military. I made friends and had experiences that I otherwise wouldn't have. However, I was following a path I thought that was kind of already laid out for me, because that's only what I knew. It's what I grew up with. And when my eyes were opened, I felt like a fraud and that something was majorly wrong in my life and where I was at. The breaks came pretty hard. There was a lot of doubt with family and friends. I felt like I was living someone else's dream, and I was scared putting in 20 years in the military, and very quickly, if not immediately, I felt like I was going in the wrong direction, and I wanted to learn everything I could about real estate. Educating myself with reading books became like breathing, and I had to figure out what I needed to do to build the life I actually wanted for my family, the one that I didn't have to spend 20 to 40 years building. One of the biggest challenges was I was always away a lot in the military, and another challenge was shutting out all the noise and trying to figure out what my first steps were, where I was going to start getting business from consistently and actually, turn this into something. I really struggled at first to find focus, and I didn't know what I didn't know about really laying the foundation correctly. And when you hear something and you need to hear it like 15 times to really get it, not having context for sales or real estate, it was all really new for me, and even foreign, so that was really hard. Yeah, there were many. I was in my own way with a lot of things, as well as there was a lot of people I knew doubted me, especially close people, and that's always hard. I was taking action in equal amounts of analysis paralysis. Real estate can be scary and it can change your life, but it can be even that much scarier at times. Dad also got cancer. He only got 2 months to live, and I was separating from military service at that time, and I felt very abruptly that I had simply ran out of time. Yeah, I connected with people that were thinking differently. At first, I was listening to a lot of motivational things, people, and videos, and I started going to seminars. I paid a lot of money for seminars and coaching and things like that, and it all kind of started falling into place for me over time. And when I saw how to start laying the pieces correctly and not reinventing the wheel and using models and also being consistent. My first thoughts were, my God, I've overcomplicated everything. This is way more simpler than I thought. I saw that there was a plan, a business plan, and I was connected to people that had done what I was trying to do, and they had insight well beyond the experience that I had at the time, and there was a very high level of trust that I put into my mentors and coaches because they had done it. The tools and things that I could duplicate in my business made the simple even simpler. I started as a real estate investor, and I had this dream of doing all these flips and rehabs, and I did have some early success with that. However, I found was that there was a lot of training in the agent space that I didn't expect, and brokerages and teams that I could get around and learn from. I originally got my license to do my own deals as an investor, and at the end of the day, it was all growing a business, and I really like being that solution expert now, having a full set of tools in the toolbox. It went from me on the phone 6 hours a day, no skills, no strategy, knocking on doors, and all that time to strategically start choosing more of the opportunities. And I started practicing communication skills, implementing leverage in my business, and picking up some branding and marketing as well. And with a strategy in mind instead of just pure effort with no strategy. It was helping me sort of shrink time. For example, I went calling random people from random lists with no follow-up strategy to one of the first things my coaches taught me was asking myself questions like, what income do you want to make? And also, what price points do we want to focus on? What neighborhoods have inventory and the turnover rates that we want to tap into? How many people do I need to contact a day to get to my goals? And then matching that with a life plan that is pointing me in the right direction. When we were in Washington State, still before I was licensed, before I was out of the military, Dad got stage 4 melanoma. They didn't say he might not make it, it was he will not make it. He was given 2 months to live, and my wife and I had spent a little over a year building our investment business. And we had signs going out every week, mail campaigns, and we were networking. We had a small team at that time, and it was working for us, and I was an acquisition specialist partnering with another company, and we had things going for us. And then all of a sudden Dad had cancer, and one of the guys we were partnered with died in a motorcycle accident, and all of our deals just kind of blew up. The whole reason that I started this was to get time freedom, and my wife and I found ourselves having to make some really tough decisions, and we had to pull the plug and move across the country and start completely over. Dad did make it through cancer treatments, and he's a freaking miracle, and he's still kicking, doing great. That was 2016, and I want to say it's been a little over 2 years now he's been cleared of cancer. My wife and I and our 2 daughters moved back home from Washington, where I separated from the military, and being back home has been a dream come true, being close to everybody that we love. And then lastly, very quickly, I want to say in the first 2 to 3 years, we owned our first 7 cash flow properties. I helped 26 families my first full year as a licensed real estate agent, and we're making 2 to 3 times what I was making in the military. Honestly, I wish I would have joined a team, either a real estate sales team or investment acquisitions team, full-time. I probably worked way harder than I had to, and I definitely spent way too much money on coaching seminars than I should have. And then on top of that, I wish I would have kept things simpler. I tried doing too much. I was spread really thin financially and otherwise. I knew I was building a legacy for my family. There isn't ever any way that I would give up on that. That has stayed with me. I would also listen to lots of YouTube motivational videos and read books, and those kind of kept me alive. Definitely when Dad had cancer, but only very briefly. It was just a hard time. There was a lot of things going through my head when we first found out. I always had there's got to be a better way mentality, and I always assumed I was wrong. It was just something I needed to learn that I didn't have in the toolbox yet. So, I've always been the person to set out and find out what I didn't know and ask the best questions that I can. I would say remember there are those that have come before you. Adopt a mindset that you can solve anything by surrounding yourself with the right people. You'll still get it wrong plenty of times, but focus, execute, adjust what you need to adjust, and repeat. Fail forward with people. Beyond that, stay consistent. Don't quit. You'll get there. Yeah, I've learned that my passion lies in helping people see past their own crap and not making the same mistakes that I did. Yeah, it's allowed me to pour my passion and drive into a no-hold-bar path. The sky's the limit in creating something valuable, which is helping people see what they can't see. I really enjoy that. And when you do the right things in the right order, the game changes. Definitely make better decisions. I'm more calculated than just throwing my hat over a fence and figuring it out. Yeah, without the right people, I'd still be chasing shiny objects, probably, most likely. That's actually scary to think about. Don't be scared to put in the work. If you have something in your heart and you're gonna have to make sacrifices, it's not forever. I actually looked up a story about the number one regret that people have on their deathbed, and it was that they wish that they had the courage to live a life true to themselves, not the life that others expected of them.